Toronto Raptors. Listen, and this is a quick message to our Raptors fans that watch this show.
Yep.
We read the comments, trust me, about how you some of you guys comment that you guys wish we would do more Raptors
We did a
content. We are reading the comments. We are trying to, but if the Raptors aren't in the news, there really isn't much to talk about outside of a topic like this that we're about to do right now.
And trust us, we dig deep. Like, we try.
Yeah,
like,
we do.
We really go try to look for stuff.
Because you guys show us a lot of love, so we try to reciprocate it back.
Who do you think is going to be the breakout player for the Toronto Raptors this season? 2019, when they went on that run with Kawhi, the breakout player was Pascal Siakam. And when Kawhi left, I think Pascal even took another step into improving his game. Now this year, who do you think is going to be that second option now that Kyle Lowry is gone, not named Fred VanVleet?
Well, I mean, you could have added Fred. I feel like Fred VanVleet has reached the ceiling, in my opinion. I think he's going to be this type of guy. You know, let's just be realistic. He's a good player though. Nobody's saying he's not, but it's easy. OG, it has to be OG. You can say anybody else, but it needs to be OG. He has the skill set. He plays that position. He needs to be that complement piece to Siakam. He has to be that guy. Offensively, he has to improve. I feel like the defense is already there. He's a really great defender. He can switch 1 through 4. He can guard all 4 positions. So that's incredible. He has the wingspan. He has the length. He has the strength. He didn't played and watched Kawhi work. He didn't played and watched Siakam. He didn't learn. He played
under DeRozan.
He played with. He didn't play, but he was behind DeMar DeRozan too. I think he sat out that year.
No, he never sat out a year.
No, because he came out of Indiana with an injury.
You're right, but 2017, 2018 was his rookie season. DeMar was there.
Okay, thank you. So, yeah, he didn't seen DeMar work. He didn't seen Kawhi work. He didn't seen Pascal work. He has to be the next guy to step it up, and he has the tools. He plays that position, so he needs to be that next guy to come into that most improved for them to be competitive because, like we've been saying, free agents aren't going to go to Toronto. As much as a great city as it is, and it's beautiful, they have Drake, you know him, the weirdo. They have that guy. I just feel like free agents don't want to live in Toronto, so I think they have to do this way through the draft and improvement in home. And Fred VanVleet has improved. Pascal has improved. It has to be OG next.
So I do think it has to be OG, but I'm going to throw another name that I think is going to break out too.
Oh, my God.
Gary Trent Jr. He broke out basically last season already, up in his point total by almost double. Went from 8.9 to 15.3 as an average between his two squads in Portland and Toronto, but averaged 16 in Toronto in his stint with them. Of course, he had more opportunity because Toronto was a losing team at that time, but regardless of that fact, he's a baller. His average is pretty solid. He averaged around almost 40% from three when he was on the Blazers. Averaged about 36 from three when he was on Toronto. And I think the part of his game that he needs to improve the most, obviously, is defense. I feel as if offensively he's already taken a huge stride in the right direction. And now you lose Kyle Lowry, there's going to be more opportunity for the ball to be in someone else's hands. I do believe OG Anunoby is going to be the number 2 option on this team. Could even potentially be the number 1 option on this team. I mean, who has more ability than him to do so on this squad? Federico, of course, has done it before already, but in terms of who we're projecting to take the biggest leap, OG is probably their best defender, is one of their best three-point shooters, just needs to be more consistent with his scoring game, just needs to be more aggressive on that end, which I think he is capable of doing. He obviously has the talent. But to Gary Trent, I've already seen him take a stride that was tremendous. The one name that comes to my mind is Terry Rozier, where that type of points jump. And of course, Gary Trent needs to be better on defense, but offensively, this is what they need. They need a guy who's going to be able to score in multiple facets. Gary Trent has shown the ability to do that. And defensively, this team's going to be more than fine, so they're not going to have to rely on him defensively, given the fact that, they just drafted Scotty Barnes. Siakam's a solid defender. OG Anunoby's a very good defender also. Federico's not bad on defense, but, he's a serviceable defender. Of course, you lose Lowry.
He's a really good defender.
Yeah, you think he's a really good...
He's just small, but he's a really good defender.
That's the only thing.
He locked up Curry in the finals.
I'm not going to acknowledge that, but he is a really good
That's
defender.
strong.
He did.
Lock up is such a strong word.
If you're a Raptors fan, comment down below. Did Fred
Curry
VanVleet
30?
Yeah,
he averaged 30.
Did Fred
what did he do
VanVleet
in the
lock
last
up
game?
Curry?
He just
Game
missed
before,
the game winner.
40.
No, Game 6, how many points did he drop?
Like 28.
Okay, that's still amazing.
He wouldn't do that to Harden, but he definitely did it to Steph.
I told you. Here it is.
Harden comes in at least once an episode.
There it
even when
is.
we're not talking about him. But just to digress on what I'm saying here, I just think Gary Trent has the best chance to have more opportunity given to him, and that's why I think he'll be the breakout player.
Gary Trent is a good one, and talking about Gary Trent, I'm not sure who he's going to be. Is he going to be a C.J. McCollum type of player? I don't know. I don't think he will be because I don't think he has the shot creation or ball handling ability that C.J. McCollum has.
Though.
But Gary Trent Jr. reminds me of a young J.R. Smith, and erratic shot taking. He's gonna make his shots, but he's not very efficient, and that's why Portland, I think, traded him, because his shot selection can be kind of questionable at times. But I think that's a great pick because Gary Trent Jr. with an increased role, and also when he got to Toronto, he wasn't very efficient. Like, he shot 39% from the field and 35% from three. If he can up his efficiency, he could get to maybe 19 to 20 a game. OG is another good pick because I think OG and Anunoby, all the tools are there for him. He has that robotic play style similar to Kawhi. He uses his post-up game a lot. He uses his body to gain advantage. He's already an elite defender, in my opinion. He is an elite defender. He's already a two-way player, probably one of the best 3-and-D players in the league. But he does need to work on his shot creation and his playmaking ability. Last year, he played 229 minutes without Lowry and Pascal Siakam on the floor. He averaged 19.4 points per game in those minutes, even though he did play those with Malachi and Fred, but he averaged 1.6 assists in those minutes. OG Anunoby, he does need to improve his playmaking tremendously this upcoming season. And with Kyle Lowry gone, is that going to be him, or are they going to give that low to Scotty Barnes? Because I think Scotty Barnes is the more natural playmaker. And who knows if Goran Dragic plays for them or not. We're not sure about that either. I do think OG's a likely candidate to jump up from what he's averaging now, which is 16 to maybe 20, 21 points per game. But I'm going to go with another name. I'm going to go with a guy they got in a trade, Precious Achiuwa. I think in his rookie season, Precious didn't play much in Miami, but now going to Toronto and seeing the depth that Toronto has, they don't have much front court depth. They do have Kem Birch and Chris Boucher, but they don't have a backup three right now. It can be Scotty or it can be Precious. Or I think their backup three will be Scotty, or probably Scotty does start. I'm not sure. And at power forward, it is Precious. I think Precious can average about like 10 points, 7 rebounds, and have a Kenneth Faried type of role. I know that's not breaking out into like superstardom or a star, but I think Precious can be a key piece to what the Raptors want to do culturally. And he's a guy that I can see being this generation's Kenneth Faried. Because Kenneth Faried in 2010, if you watch basketball back then, he was a huge piece to what Denver did after Melo left. He was igniting that team, and I think Precious can do that for this team right here.
No, I think he's definitely huge for their, playoff hopes, and he's huge for their future because he's still a young player. He just played with Nigeria in the summer, so he played pretty well for himself. That's more experience tacked on to now playing with guys like Siak. I don't know if he's a 3, though. I think he played a 4 or 5 in Miami.
I don't think he's a 3 either. I think he's a 4 or 5.
Yeah, they have him listed as a power forward.
Yeah, he played that in Miami. It's very weird. It's a very weird guy. He's a big, strong, physical player, though.
When you look at the Raptors' depth chart right now, it shows Fred, Gary Trent, OG, Pascal, and Kem Birch. Their backups are Goran Dragic, Malachi Flynn. Scotty Barnes is listed as a 3 and 4 as the backup, and Chris Boucher is the 5. So I think Precious can fit in that 4 spot. And if Goran Dragic gets traded, I think minutes will
be passed down.
Be passed down. There will be more minutes to allocate to other players. Yeah, Goran Dragic, if he stays in Toronto, he will make them very competitive. This can be one of the best benches in the league.
I think I know the answer to this. Do you think Siakam could play the 5 at all?
I do think he can. It
depends who they're playing.
So then would that mean that OG would move to the 4, or would you be more comfortable putting Scotty at the 4?
Scotty at the 4.
Scotty is more – he plays better down low.
How long do you think it'll be until Scotty takes the starting lineup?
I think he might do it this year.
How many games into the season?
I think he'll only do it this year if Pascal gets traded in the middle of the year.
Really?
Yeah.
So you don't think he'll start at all?
I don't. I think they're going to use this year to develop him. I see like 10-5-5 for him. Not even, like 10-5-3 for him
Okay.
for the year.
I was going to say 10-5-5 wouldn't be bad at all.
Because I still do think, I think defensively he's there.
Mm-hmm.
But offensively, he still needs to work some things out.
For sure.
I just think right now, you don't want to start Scotty at the 3. You're not going to start him over OG.
No.
You're not starting him over Pascal, and even Kem Birch at the 5. He's a natural 5.
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to start Scotty at the 5 and just completely go small the entire season. You maybe do it for a couple games, but not for the entire year. Because of that, I think he'll just come off the bench, kind of like how Jaylen Brown did his rookie season.
Okay.
I like that lineup.
No, for sure. With Scotty at the 4, Siakam at the 5, OD.
It just depends on who they play.
Yeah.
If you play the Bucks, I don't want Siakam at the 5.
I was going to say, because then they're very small.
Yeah, or it really just like Philly. I don't want Siakam at the 5, so it really just depends on who they play. Type, but they could run a not identical, but like the Clippers run 3-4 wings and then just one guard. Toronto has that type of depth where they can do that. Scotty, like you said, has to get his shooting up. OG has to get his shot creation up. Pascal has to keep improving his jump shot. And then they could run 4 wings, one guard, and just small ball. Small ball really is effective. So I could see it happen.